Okay, Shalom, Yasha'Allah. Um, I just wanted to share some things with you real quick, dealing with this crescent moon doctrines, and I am animately against it because I know the origins of it, and I'm not just using the Book of Enoch, and I'm using actual historical data. As you can see, it goes back to the Babylonians. Now, this would be a short video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Hindus, the Catholics, the Arab Muslims, how all of these people worship the new moon as a crescent moon to worship their gods. So this is a function that the heathenistic Gentiles were using long before today. So it's just a resurgence of these ancient demons coming from the past. And if you see this, you can share it to whatever groups you want to share it to. Now, this says the Babylonian calendar. Hope you can see it pretty clearly. Now, it says right here, the beginning of the month in the Babylonian calendar was determined by direct observation by priests of the young crescent moon at sunset after the astronomical new moon. So you see that? So the ancient Babylonians, they knew when the new moon occurred, when the new month actually started. But them, being wicked, trying to exalt themselves in the knowledge that they were given by Nimrod, they tried to put themselves over the Most High and throw off his calendar from the beginning. So this was done by Satan, who was working through Nimrod. And when he worked through Nimrod, Nimrod was evil. Nimrod was wicked. Nimrod was the founder of ancient Babylon. In case you didn't know that. That's why when you go into the Bible, the Torah, in Genesis chapter 10, and you read verse 8, it says that Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. So Nimrod's kingdom began with Babel. And when Nimrod started his kingdom, the whole thing he was trying to do was escape from what he learned from his father Ham. He didn't want to do like he was taught by Noah. He didn't want to do it the way that Adam did it. So Nimrod said, we're going to look at the crescent moon to count the month. So a lot of these brothers, they thinking that the new moon starts on the crescent. But even the ancient astronomers knew right here that the astronomical new moon started when the moon was black. So they would want to observe the young crescent moon at the sunset of the astronomical new moon. And then they would have who? Their priests were making observation. Same thing people do now, saying they have to observe and see the new moon under a crescent to say it's the beginning of the month. This all goes back to Nimrod and his worship of demons and trying to get the whole world to follow after him. And that's where we get what? That's where we get the Tower of Babel in Genesis chapter 11. When they said that the people wanted to stay one, and Nimrod was trying to get everybody to build a city to reach up to the heights, higher heights. So he told the people, observe the new moon this way, observe the month this way. Now it tells us right here that this custom is remembered in Judaism. So the religion of Judaism, after we came from Babylon, after Israel fell in 70 AD, they put together the religion of Judaism. Remember, Judaism was not around in the first century, AD or BC. Judaism started when these people from Babylon got together and put together what? The Babylonian Talmud. So all you black Israelites out there talking against the Khazars, talking against the Ashkenazi, talking against Judaism, you follow their custom when you follow that crescent new moon, which is a custom that goes back to where? To Nimrod, the biblical arch enemy against the children of Israel's worship of Yahweh. Okay, now it says in Islam, the months whose commencement is of religious significance, like the month after the feast of Ramadan, still depends on the actual observation of the crescent moon by a respected religious authority. You see that? So they look for their religious authorities. So now if you look at the last sentence here, which will enable us to construct a working model of the Babylonian calendar without the priest of Marduk. So they were worshiping Marduk, ancient Babylonian demon. This is what the new moon signified in ancient Babylon. Now let's see what else they say. Let's see where the book of Enoch gets all this information that people try to read and act like they just made this stuff up yesterday. No, the book of Enoch is repeating a lot of different cultures from a lot of different parts of the world. It's repeating Viking mythology, Valhalla. It's repeating Babylonian idolatry. Let's look at this. The Babylonian New Year was astronomically the first new moon. Actually, the first visible crescent after the vernal equinox. From the vernal equinox. Okay? Vernal. So you have the vernal equinox and autumn equinox. Right here, follow me. You have the vernal equinox. Okay? So you have winter, winter, spring, summer, fall. So it's the Babylonians that started talking about the crescent moon after the vernal equinox. This ain't got nothing to do with the children of Israel. This is straight Babylonian idolatry, and a lot of y'all following the book of Enoch is worshiping demons and don't even know it. Don't even know you following the ways of ancient Babylon. The first crescent moon after the vernal equinox. That's when the Babylonian New Year started. We know the Babylonian New Year and the way the Babylonians observed their worship days and holy days was not in sync with the children of Israel. It was out of sync because Nimrod started it, and Nimrod was wicked. Nimrod was not following the ways that Noah taught his sons. So now if you keep on going on this website, it gives you all types of Jewish and Muslim calendars. Okay? The names of the Babylonian months are retained not only in the Jewish calendar, but in the Gregorian calendar used by Christians in the Levant and Iraq. The Levant is going into parts of Iraq, Assyria, northern Iran, going into Egypt, the Levant, or what you call the Fertile Crescent area. So I just want to show you this part right here. Okay, I want to show you this part right here. How all the things that we doing, even when he talks about the Jewish calendar, is based on what the Babylonians started. The Jewish calendar that's followed is following the crescent moon system. The modern Jewish calendar, the ancient Israelite calendar, followed the astronomical new moon, which is called the inferior conjunction. All right, now moving on. This is the Babylonian Seleucid calendars, this is a website where it converts. And the conversion table is so good that it was generated by these people, Parker and Duberstein, in 1956, and it hasn't been changed yet. It says a corrected conversion table consisting of PD overlaid by data from contemporary astronomical, not astrology, but astronomical diaries, lunar tables, eclipse reports, eclipse prediction, gold year text, and then they say horoscopes. And then they said they have a different table showing the difference between the first two tables. So you got three tables. So what I want to show you is what it says right here. It says the Babylonian calendar was a lunar solar calendar. The Babylonian day began at sunset, and each month notionally began with the first rising of the crescent moon. See that? Same thing again. The Babylonians began their months with the crescent moon. So why was it so important to begin the month with the crescent moon? Because this was a system of worship that Nimrod set up. As we saw in Genesis chapter 10, Nimrod set this whole thing up. The crescent moon. Why? Because this is a form. Nimrod's mother was Semiramis. Okay? That's who his mom was, Semiramis. And as his mother was Semiramis, she was worshipped by the same people that worship Nimrod. So let's get that understanding first. Okay? So Semiramis, she evolved into who? She evolved into Isis. She evolved into Ishtar. and she evolved into Diana. She evolved into many different demons that were worshipped later on in history. So these are all things, once again, that were established by Nimrod. Okay, Semiramis. So what was, if you look up Semiramis and you look up what is the symbol of Semiramis, you have a lion as a great hunter, killer of the forest. And then you have that crescent. You have the crescent. Look it up. So we see here that the Babylonians began their month with the first rising of the crescent moon. So the Babylonians, modern Judaism, Karaites, all of these people were worshiping, have worship holy events happening around the crescent moon. So we know Nimrod's mother, Semiramis, she evolved into Diana. Okay? She evolved into Diana. And we know that Diana, once again, was the goddess of hunting and of the moon in Roman mythology. So it's not hard to make the connection between Semiramis, Nimrod, and Diana. One of the ancient symbols of Semiramis is the lion as the hunter, and also the crescent moon. So when we look and we go into Diana, look at what we got. Right here, you got the crescent moon on her head, because Nimrod set up this worship system. So the crescent moon as the beginning of the month is, number one, not the new moon. Number two, it delays the actual start of the month. And number three, it's pagan. And number four, it was established by Nimrod, not by any of our forefathers. And we already showed how the things that the book of Enoch is talking about, that people say that the book of Enoch is saying, with the vernal equinox. All right? When they talk about the vernal equinox, that vernal equinox, okay, is going back to what the ancient Babylonians did. That's what it is. The vernal equinox in the first crescent moon after the vernal equinox is something that the Babylonians did. The Hebrews did not do that. We observed the new month of the year from when the sun entered into the first constellation of so-called Aries, only for timekeeping, not for telling the future and stuff like that. When the sun entered into the first constellation. So here we see Diana again being worshipped with a crescent moon as her symbol. Okay. The crescent moon is her symbol. So we got Diana right here with the crescent moon as her symbol. We got Diana right here. Artemis and Diana. These are the things that Paul saw when he went to Ephesus and saw them worshiping Diana. He saw this crescent moon design on her head. Don't you think he would have known, well, look, the crescent moon man, this is what we observe as the new month. No, we didn't do that. Here's another picture, Diana, crescent moon. So all you doing by trying to worship on the new moon, according to the crescent moon, is bringing back the worship of these old demons. Look at this. This is Semiramis, Nimrod's mother, and you worshiping her because the book of Enoch says something about a crescent moon and the equinox. And you're not spiritual enough. You're not obedient enough to the laws of Yahweh for the Holy Spirit to correct you. Once again, right here, crescent moon, Diana, Semiramis, Artemis. You see? Now here's symbolizing her fertility with all of the breasts. Okay? This is Semiramis, Diana, Ishtar, Artemis. Crescent moon on her head. So this is what you worshiping when you're talking about the new moon Sabbath. You're not doing nothing but worshiping Nimrod's mother. That's all you're doing. Have nothing to do with Israel, nothing to do with the real new moon, which is the black moon, nothing to do with time, unless you're going off the Babylonian systems, which we already showed you that the Babylonians worshipped on the crescent new moon. The crescent, which they said wasn't even a new moon. It was the first crescent after the astronomical new moon. But you silly Negroes now trying to say the crescent moon is the actual new moon, when no culture observed the crescent moon as the new moon. They always observed the black moon as the new moon. And then the crescent moon, they say, is when we're going to begin to count our cycle. So from Diana, of course, you had Elam, which said, what Nimrod's doing, we will not do like Nimrod. We will do our own thing. So Elam did his own thing and did what? Bam. He worshiped Shiva. So here you go with Shiva with the new moon right there. The crescent moon in his head. Shiva. Hindu false goddess. Hindu false god, rather. The destroyer. Crescent moon on his head. With the symbol of Brahma in the background right there. All of these little symbols of Brahma right there. And that right there says Om in Sanskrit and Hindi letters. Shiva, see that? Crescent moon, Shiva, crescent moon. So all of these idols with the crescent moon, and you mean to tell me that the Most High had us observing the new moon under the crescent moon? But the Babylonians and the Hindus worship and esteem the crescent moon as symbols of the gods that they were worshiping. Shiva right here, false god. Crescent right here. See that? Crescent right there. Here we go again. Crescent. Got the big crescent right there. Flossing with the crescent. Flossing with the crescent. All right. So these are things that the Most High have warned us not to be dealing with. The signs of heaven. A crescent moon is a sign of heaven. The black moon, you can't even see it. You can't even trip on the black moon. How you going to draw the black moon? You can just make a circle and fill it in black. And some of you Negroes will do that too. But look at the crescent moon. All over Shiva. Showing you that this was a pagan symbol. Idolatry. Witchcraft. The crescent moon right there. It's not of the Most High. Crescent moon right there. It's everywhere. Shoot, I mean, even if you go on with, you know, it has its ups and downs, but even if you go on Wikipedia, I'm trying to get a bigger picture. I'm not using Wikipedia as a site of scholastic review. I'm just trying to see if they have any pictures of Shiva with the crescent moon on his head. Here's a picture of Shiva. You can see that. Got the crescent moon on his head right there. Crescent moon. And that's Ganesh chilling right there. All this is idolatry that we're not supposed to be dealing in, man. We ain't supposed to be dealing in these things. So here's another image. Big crescent right there. He flossing with that crescent. So let's open this image up. And this is a big image right here. See that? Crescent moon. So why is all these ancient cultures using crescent moon? Why? Because it's a demon magnet. It tells people that you in line with Nimrod, who is an enemy of Yahweh from the beginning. That you worshiping the same demons that Nimrod was worshiping. So now let's look at Mary. Let's look at the Catholics now. Let's look at the Catholics. What do we got right here? Well, let's open up this. Open this up into a new tab. And this is the Virgin of Guadalupe. And what do we got right here under her feet? What do we got right there? What is that? It's the same crescent moon, letting you know Semiramis is worshipped here. All demons of Nimrod, all demons of Semiramis, all ancient Babylonians, come here. We got the crescent new moon. We got the crescent moon showing that we in line with Nimrod, with Satan himself. This ain't an Israelite custom. This is not the Israelite new moon. This is not how we counted months. Okay? We used the black moon as the beginning of the month. So now all of these symbols, here we got one right here. Let's open this one up and check this out. Let's look at this image right here. At the bottom right there, you got that crescent moon right there. Crescent moon. Too good. Okay, maybe I can pull them from another website. Right on the bottom right here, another crescent moon under so-called Mary, which is really Semiramis, which is really Diana, which is really Ishtar, which goes back into Artemis. All of them got different names. They might try to flip the names around sometime, but it's the same demon that goes back to Semiramis. You see? So this is the crescent moon. And this is what you Israelites are trying to uphold and have everybody else following. All right, and you can see right here, they got the big crescent moon right there. Big old crescent moon. Big old crescent moon. Mary and the Crescent. So that's the name of the picture. But they don't got it on here though. So Mary and the Crescent. So now let's get some more pictures. Oh, can't forget about one of the first major goddesses after Semiramis. Got the stylized crescent right there. ancient Egyptian idolatry. Nothing to do with the Most High. Look at this over here. Look at this image. Open up a new tab. Hope I can magnify it. But you still see the crescent moon right there. Why they have all of these demons and idols that people worship with the crescent moon? I mean, what's the purpose? Because it goes back to worshiping Satan, worshiping Nimrod. It goes back to worshiping Nimrod's mother, Semiramis. It don't have nothing to do with the months of the children of Israel. Little tiny crescent right there. All of these images with the crescent. Straight up demonology. Straight up idolatry. Look at this. Crescent. Crescent moon. Okay. Now, I just type in Islam. All I typed in was, you can see right here, all I type in is Islam. All I typed in was Islam. What do you see? Right here, you see a crescent, a crescent, a crescent, a crescent, a crescent. Over here, you see a crescent. Over here, you see a crescent. Over here, a crescent. Down here, a green crescent. Over here, a crescent with the sky behind it. Over here, a green crescent with a minaret and a mosque and a star, a crescent. Over here, a black crescent. Over here, 1 crescent, 2 crescent, 3 crescent, 4, 5 crescent, 6 crescent, 7 crescent more. All you see is crescents. Crescent. You got a crescent right there. All I typed in was Islam. And you see all these crescents come up, man. Why is all these crescents being used in all these religions, starting with the Babylonians, and people trying to say the crescent moon is of the Most High? The crescent moon was used as a symbol first by the Babylonians, by a moon god. Let's type in. Now we're going to go a little bit below the surface, but not too deep. So we're going to type in crescent moon, and we're going to type in Sin. It's not what you think. You see this? There was a false goddess, a false god that was worshipped with the crescent new moon. Okay. Everybody see that, right? So this is Nana, which is Sin in Babylonian religions, is the god of the moon. He is the father of the sun god Shamash and the weaver goddess Utu. His symbol is a crescent, just like the crescent moon. So how are you going to keep pushing a crescent moon when we showing you in the archaeology, in the history, just like I read from the Bible, it goes right back to Nimrod starting the Tower of Babel, and the crescent moon goes back to Babylonian false religion. Okay? So here's a seal depicting the moon god Sin standing on a crescent and receiving a prayer. Here's the crescent that he's standing on. There's the crescent that he's standing on. And that's that same god, Sin. You see that? And that's the God, that's what you worshiping with that crescent moon. Ain't got nothing to do with Israel. Now Satan think he's slick, gonna try to throw in the book of Enoch and throw in some new calendar knowledge. And those people that don't keep the Torah, y'all the only ones that's falling for this foolishness. Those of us that keep the Torah, that walks in the Torah, in the spirit of Hamashiach, in the spirit of Yahushua, we not falling for the okie doke. You see that? So Sin and Nanu are the names of these ancient Babylonian gods that were worshipped under the crescent moon. And look at this. I mean, the stuff is right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face. Look at this. Crescent moon, big as all daylight. Look at that. Crescent moon. You can't deny this, man. And then you want to say, oh, that the crescent moon is when the month begins. No, the Babylonians didn't say that. Let's go back to the people that originated this crescent moon. Let's see when they said the month started. Okay, let's go back to the Babylonians. Let's read this first sentence right here. The beginning of the month of the Babylonian calendar. So the beginning of the month from their calendar was determined by the direct observation by priests of the young crescent moon after sunset, at sunset after the astronomical new moon. So they got two new moons. They got the astronomical new moons, and then they have the beginning of their calendar based on the crescent moon. So they even knew that the month started with the astronomical new moon, which was the black new moon. And they said, well, we're going to delay. And then once we see that crescent, we're going to start to count the month then. Why? Why they do that? Over here. Because they wanted to wait and worship their two gods of the new moon, Nanu and Sin. Okay, let me go back. Here's Nanu. Here's Nana, which is Sin, Babylonian religion, the god of the moon. So when they saw that symbol pop, they said, oh man, Nanu is with us again. Nana or Sin is with us again. Let us go and worship him. And that's when they would start to count their months. Now here's what. Check this out. Now dig this. What is this right here? What is this foolishness? Huh? This is a crescent and a moon together, which is the stele of Nabonidus, or you can say Nabonidus or Nabonidus, the crescent and star right here. And this looks like the minaret that the Muslims use with the crescent on the top of it. We just showed you that. Let me go back over here. It's the same thing. Look at that. Look at that. On top of the towers, look at that right here. And on top of the towers right here, what they got? Crescent moon. On top of the tower from ancient Babylon, what they got? Crescent moon. See that tower? And then they got that crescent moon. So you got Israelites now trying to say, oh, the crescent moon is the new moon. No, it's not. It's a Babylonian symbol to worship the god Sin and the god Nana, which is the same false god. Okay? So now that's why, what do we have right here? Eid Mubarak. Blessed Feast of Eid. You see that? Muslim, same crescent moon symbol. Look at this. Moon god. See that? The moon god with the crescent. Moon god with the crescent. Man, oh man, oh man. And you want to say the new month starts with the new moon, and that Yahweh wants us to count the months by the crescent moon. The month starts with the new moon, but the new moon is not a crescent. The new moon is, look at this, is black. Look at this. This is another crescent moon. Look at this over here. Another crescent moon. Okay? So, I mean, that's enough for this video. You got sin again. Seen. Okay? and they're worshiping that demon. Okay, here's the moon goddess right here from Persia. This is nothing but Diana. See the breast out and the crescent moon. We know that's Diana because we showed the picture earlier with, see, they change it over the time. But we showed the picture earlier of Diana with her breast out. Like when Paul went to Ephesus. Okay, there it is right there, but okay. So there's another idolatry, witchcraft type of thing, talking about the new moon. So, I mean, come on, man. I mean, how much more do you need to see? Observing that crescent new moon is evil, it's wicked, it's Babylonian, and it's against the Most High. It's against the Most High. Has nothing to do with the righteousness of the children of Israel. Islam did it. The Catholics do it. The Hindus do it. And we know that the Babylonians did it also. Okay? So leave that crescent moon alone. The crescent moon is not of the Most High. Okay? You can check the archaeology on your own. All right? The crescent moon have nothing to do with the righteousness of the Bible. Right? So let's go and open his image. Now, this is just kind of put together. I didn't really go into a lot of details. The crescent moon shown above the altar in this seal is the symbol of the chief Babylonian god Sin, which is also known as Nana, which was also the chief god worshipped in ancient Arabia at the time of Muhammad. The crescent moon still symbolizes the Arab Islam moon god renamed Allah. Now, I'm not going to get into all of that extra stuff they said. I'm just showing you how above this altar right here, you got the crescent moon symbolizing both Sin and symbolizing the other name of that false god, which is Nana. So these are all things that you got to be careful for. Now, the one place, it even goes on to tell you that the Babylonians would wait for the vernal equinox to observe the new year. This is not from the book of Enoch, brothers and sisters. This is from the Babylonians. This is from Nimrod, who wanted everybody to be thrown off, even if it ain't before 2 days. Thrown off, even if it's only 2 days off. He don't want you worshiping Yahweh at the time Yahweh wants to be worshipped. He wants you marking the new moon according to how the Babylonians did it, because that causes you to worship Nimrod and those demons, and you using that crescent moon, and that gives Satan more control over your life because you're pushing Yahweh to the side and you're going after the ancient Babylonian deities and how they worshiped and did things, man. You see, the Babylonian New Year was astronomically the first new moon after the vernal equinox. Same thing the book of Enoch and brothers trying to do now. Because that old demon is trying to come back and get his claws into you children of Israel, because he knows that our deliverance is near. How come we've been doing this truth for over 30, 40 years? Now all of a sudden, people now are starting to see, oh, the calendar is wrong. The book of Enoch says so. So we're going to start doing it the way that the ancient Babylonians did it. And the proof is right here. The proof is right here. Okay? Proof is right here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop. You know, the Muslims talk about the new moon. And I just put in, different search phrases. For Shiva, I didn't even have to put in new moon. For Mary, I might have put in new moon, I think. But you can just see all around. Islam, I just put in Islam and Crescent came up. Now you put in the Karaites. You put in Crescent. Let's see what that shows us. Karaites and Crescent. It says Karaites, Crescent. Muslims and Karaites begin their months when the crescent new moon is. Okay. First of all, the Karaites, I don't even believe they were Israelites. It said they began the month when the crescent new moon is first visible. You go back to the Babylonians, actually the first visible crescent. See that? Same thing the Babylonians did is the same things that this modern Jewish group does. Muslims and Karaites begin their months when the new crescent moon is first visible. So the same thing. You see, it's the same thing. So, but when you look at the Judaism and the crescent, let's see what we come up with. Okay. Look at that's going to be a harder search for right now, for the time restrictions we have. It says the Islamic crescent was originally a Jewish symbol. Okay, Jewish history, a fertile crescent. Actually, let's go into Judaism and put in crescent moon. Let's go to Kabod, which is a strict Edomite Gentile. See that? Crescent moon. So I want to know, all you brothers that's supposed to be against Babylon, you're supposed to be against the white Jewish people, you're supposed to be against Judaism. How in the hell did you start observing the same thing that the white Jewish people and the Babylonians are observing? We're not talking about reading the Torah, or we're not talking about keeping the holy days. We're talking about you are observing and doing things the same way as the Babylonians, the Karaites, and modern Ashkenazi, Amalekite Jewish people are doing. How is that? How is that? Nobody got any answers? Because you're following the same demons. Following the same demons. That's how. So it says that the Jewish nation is often compared to the moon throughout history. Our light waxed and waned, but even in utter darkness, it has never been extinguished. This is the reason why when the new moon appears for the first time in the night sky, we celebrate. Okay? So when they can see the actual crescent of the moon is when they say it's the beginning of a new month. Same thing the Babylonians did. Same thing the Karaites did. You see that? You go to any website. Let's go look up new moon in the Jewish Encyclopedia. Okay. What does it say? We don't know what it says. Let's just read. The period of new moon was in pre-exilic times celebrated by cessation of labor. It was superior even to the Sabbath day, which formed but a part of it. But it lost its importance during the exile and was observed mainly as the determining factor of the calendar with its festivals. In the latter period, only the women who in pagan times were especially attached to the Queen of Heaven refrained from work on the new moon. The reason given being that they were privileged to celebrate it because they had not been willing to worship the golden calf as the men. What kind of utter BS nonsense are they talking about? So now let's try to see about the citing of it. Let's look up cite. Okay. It says, this view casts light also on the benediction at the sight of the new moon. You see that? So the sighting of the new moon. So these people also were talking about, oh, we got to see the moon in order for us to observe it properly. So all you Israelites out there trying to use the new moon as a crescent moon, you're going off. And you got to come back to that black moon as the new moon that the month starts with. I don't care what the book of Enoch says. We already showed you how the Babylonians even used the vernal equinox of the so-called springtime, when the Bible only gives 2 seasons, summer and winter. Where's spring and fall in the Bible? That's from going back into that's going back into Genesis chapter 8. Genesis chapter 8, verse 22. Cold and heat, summer and winter. All right? So come about that new moon stuff, man. Unless you went to worshiping Mary, you want to worship Shiva, okay? Or you want to worship Allah, okay? Or you want to worship the goddess Sin or Nana from ancient Babylon. You see that? So leave that stuff alone, man. It ain't for you. The new moon is the black moon. Now, hopefully I can put a lesson together to show you that the new moon is the black moon according to the Psalms, according to Genesis, according to Wisdom of Solomon, and according to the book of Sirach, also called the book of Ecclesiasticus, to show you that the new moon is the black moon. But we're showing you all the evidence that this crescent moon is demonic, it's evil, it's witchcraft, it's idolatry, and it's given unto Satan, and it's started by Nimrod. All right, so let's look up Marduk. Okay. So it tells us that Marduk, calf of the sun, solar calf, all right, later generation god for ancient Mesopotamia, the patron deity of the city of Babylon. So let's look at Marduk and let's see if he used the crescent. Right, so here's images of Marduk crescent. Okay, so from the temple of the god Marduk, set up in honor of a private individual called Adad Etir. Now at this top right here, I see a crescent moon right here. The other symbol, the other image, crescent moon. Okay. Now this one right here, I don't see a crescent moon right here. This one, they calling it the Star of Ishtar right there, or the crescent moon right there, and the Star of Ishtar is hands to the left and to the right. Now this one, this looks Nabatean. Oh, okay, not Nabatean, but a little bit further east, west. They saying this is from Carthage. Look up here, crescent moon. Okay. Crescent moon. So remember, we're talking about Marduk, priest before Marduk and Nabu. Here's Marduk. His symbol right here is the moon. So you got different names and different people that the demons that the new moon was being used for. Okay. Now here's an ancient picture of the ancient Ethiopian king of Babylon. Because remember, the ancient Babylonians were actually the modern Ethiopians. Okay. And they said that this is one of the demons that they was worshiping. Well, this is the actual king is saying. Okay. Marduk Nadin Ehe, king of Babylon, from 1099 unto 1082. All right. A relief from a boundary stone, Kaduru. This is at the British Museum. So anyway, yeah, this whole crescent moon thing, man, is getting out of control. It's getting out of hand. And it's clearly, once again, dealing with demons, man. Idolatry of the Babylonians. Leave it alone. Stop it. Stop it. Don't deal with it. Don't deal with these things, man. You're inviting demons in your life. You're inviting evil into your life. You're inviting idols that attract different false gods from having them thoughts in your brain. Oh, the new moon, the new moon, the new moon is on the crescent, the crescent, the crescent. We esteem the crescent. We count from the crescent. Them ancient Babylonians did the same thing, and now they're trying to pull us into worshiping them by tricking us with this crescent moon nonsense, garbage, BS. So in the name of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, we will not be drawn back into worshiping these ancient demons. Okay? We are sure and we are certain for the past 25 years of how we are doing the calendar and how we come to the new moon. So it's not something that's a new doctrine that somebody just showed us yesterday. Like me or hate me, I really don't give a damn. But we're not going to keep going back and forth with our people every time somebody decides that they want to create, think of, or present some new doctrine. We can't live like that. It's thousands and thousands of Israelites. Which one do you decide you're going to sit and review when they got a disagreement with the status quo, with the biblical way that we established to do things? All of them? No. If you can show that the way things are done is wrong, that's when you scratch it. But you don't show that something that's being done is wrong by introducing something different. That's retarded and backwards, because you haven't disproven what you're saying should be discredited and discarded. Prove the way we're doing it wrong. Because I'm showing you all types of Shiva, Mary, Ishtar, Babylonian gods, Marduk. I'm showing you Islam, where the crescent is used and have been being used for over 3,500 years. You don't see the crescent moon one time in Israelite history and Israelite archaeology, ever. So how in the hell the Book of Enoch going to come and say, oh, how the Book of Enoch going to come and say this? Oh, we got to use the new moon, the crescent, and oh, we got to use the vernal equinox, just like who? Just like the damn Babylonian calendar, man. Just like the damn Babylonian calendar. Trying to make people worship the way the Babylonians worship, keeping the moon according to the Babylonians' way to do it, man. Man, get out of here with that. Ain't nobody stupid, man. We read the Torah too much to be tricked by the symbols of false gods, man. Ain't nobody gonna pull no wool over our eyes as long as we obeying and trying to be humble and do what the Torah says to do, man. Read the book, Babylonian Chronology. Read the book. Get the book and read it. And learn about this new moon crescent madness that people are doing. People are following. Right? So, once again, this is your brother, Parazai Yasha, and you can go to banya12.com, and on this website, you know, we talk about the tribes, and also on here, you got the daily prayers, important documents. I thought we had some documents on here. Visual history, was there documents on here? 12 tribes in the Torah. I thought that there was some documents on here that you could read. No. Oh, it's not. The calendar's not on there. So we got to upload the calendar right here. But look on my Facebook page. I got the calendar that we supposed to be using. All right. So yeah, the Babylonian calendar. They use the crescent moon also. So yeah, do the right thing, man. Don't follow the crowd. Follow the Most High and what He said to do. Broad is the way of destruction, but small and narrow is the gate that enters into eternal life, man. Crescent new moon is witchcraft. It's evil. It's idolatry, and it's worshiping other gods. Show me one person that's diligent and thorough in the Torah that's following after this new moon crescent. All right? Brothers ain't even worried about the Torah. They worried about new doctrines, and they on fads. They on fads now, man. They on fads. Everybody trying to go across the waters to someplace else, but they ain't even right with the commandments of the Most High right now. But they breaking the commandments here and don't want to obey the covenant that we got now. But they're looking for this. You are not going to get a proper and clear understanding of the Torah and of worshiping the Most High and of Leviticus chapter 23 for His holy days if you're not keeping the commandments of Yahweh. Point blank, period, .com, end of the story, like it or not. There's no way. There's no way the Holy Spirit's going to give you understanding if you walking out of obedience to the Torah. So don't come with this whole new moon is the crescent moon and the vernal equinox if you don't have a thorough walk with the Torah. Period. And you know when a man got a thorough walk with the Torah, you can look at him and you can talk to him and you can see how obedient he is to the Father. Because if he's disobedient, his prayer is an abomination to the Most High. So how are you going to sit and try to teach you something when the Most High ain't even listening to this man's prayers? When he's not even obedient. So if he's not obedient to the commandments, the Most High said that he is least in the kingdom. So he is on a small level. He is on a reduced. He is of small value, no value to the Most High. He is least in the kingdom. So he is a low level of man if he's not keeping these commandments. The men that do these commandments and teach them, the Most High said that those men are on high levels in the kingdom, that they are of high value, that they are the highest levels of man that we can reach to. Whoever teach the commandments and do the commandments shall be called great in the kingdom. Whoever break the commandments and teach men so when you observe the Passover on the wrong day, you're breaking the commandments. And when you teach men to follow after your calendar system, you're teaching men to break the commandments. So the Most High have said that you are on a low level. You're the lowest kind of man that Israel can ever have, man. So no, we're not going to follow that no more. And we won't be intimidated by people's years in the truth, by how many followers they have, by how much of an inspirational speaker they may be. We're not going to let that intimidate us. We're going by what the scriptures say, what the Torah say, and the history is right in front of you. The crescent new moon was observed by people that worship demons and by Nimrod, who started this whole idolatry in the crescent moon, trying to worship his mother also, Semiramis, with Diana as the crescent moon as her symbol. So I'm going to stop right there. May the Most High Yahweh lead us into more understanding, to be able to be more obedient to the commandments that he's given us. This is the humble prayer in the name of Yahweh Shai. Aman. Shalom Lakam, Yashar Allah. There's more to come. Shema Yashar Allah, Yahweh Allahayna, wa Yahweh Akkad, wa Habta at Yahweh Allahayaka, Bakal Lababka, wa Bakal Napashka, wa Bakal Ma'adka. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power. Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh your power with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. In the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen.